joining us today on Playing the Field. I'm Maria Serrao, and we are here at Dodger Stadium, the site, of course, of the All-Star Game. It's been 42 years since the big game has been here at Dodger Stadium, and as you all know, 42 is a very special number in baseball. But before that, we have lots to get to on the show today, so we're going to get you caught up on what's going on in LA sports. Let's start with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are still in first place as the break approaches. Now, I had a chance to catch up with second baseman Gavin who has really changed a lot this season. He said during the offseason he worked a lot on his mental game. Here's more. So Gavin, from season to season, we like to talk about what you've worked on. And recently I read an article that said that not only were you working on physical things, but you were working mentally as well. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about that because I know you went through kind of a rough time, and even read that Justin Turner had given you a book that really helped you out a lot. So kind of walk us through that and tell us how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just mental. I mean, baseball's such a mental game, and you got to deal with so much failure day in and day out. And I think, kind of as a 21, 22-year-old, even parts of last year, I had a hard time kind of dealing with it, and especially away from the field, just like feeling like you can't get away from it, especially when you're struggling. You just kind of replay at bats and any errors you make over and over in your head. So for me, it was about just kind of learning how to deal with that and just finding some hobbies off the field that kind of takes your mind off the game. So I think that stuff helped me more than anything this year. I mean, I've made some adjustments as far as baseball-wise, physically, but I think the biggest thing has been the mental aspect.
What do you think you learned the most from your teammates?
Yeah, I think just seeing what guys do away from the field to kind of just deal with it. Like JT said, as soon as he takes his jersey off, like he'll sit at his locker, or if he's struggling or has a bad game, and he'll think about it, whatever, but as soon as he takes his jersey off, like, it's done, you stop thinking about it. So just little things like that have helped me a lot, and it's like, yeah, as soon as I take my jersey off and get in the shower, everything's done, I stop thinking about it, and then when you come back to the field the next day, you're not so consumed about what happened the day before. So I think little things like that have helped.
It's kind of interesting you talk about the fact that, like, you want to think about it all the time to try to do everything right, but by letting go a little bit, how does that sort of free up your mind?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of a perfectionist a little bit at heart, and I think a lot of us at this level are, otherwise we probably wouldn't be here. But yeah, it's like just letting go and understanding that, you're going to fail in this game, and that's a big part of it. And there's an old saying, like 95% of this game is mental, 5% is physical. Everybody here can do it physically, so it's just a day in and day out grind of a major league season that you kind of got to learn to deal with.
Do you feel like you grew up a lot over the last year? Because you seem like you do, just watching your mannerisms.
I think a lot, yeah. I think I've kind of learned how to not take things so seriously too, and you're playing in the big leagues. This is fun, and you got to enjoy it. And I think I've kind of taken that perspective into it, as opposed to, okay, this is a job, I got to do great every night. It's like, no, it's still a kid's game, and you got to have fun doing it, and that's when you're going to be your best.
You got to really keep that balance. Something I have never asked you. You grew up in Wisconsin. Are you a Packers fan?
I'm a Bears fan. I'm one of the few Bears fans in Wisconsin. Yeah, both my parents are from Chicago, so I kind of grew up kind of in a Bear household. So we got to get it going this year.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a Cowboy fan, so you can understand that we need to get it going as well.
I hear you. I'm with you on that.
Right. Gavin, thanks for spending some time with us and sharing some of your insights. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.
And moving down the 5 freeway, I had a chance to catch up with Angels third baseman Taylor Ward, who is fitting in quite well with the Angels. Here's more. We are here today with Taylor Ward. Taylor, interesting when I was reading about you, and I noticed the time that you spent in the minors until you got up. And I know you've worked a lot on your mechanics over the last couple of years. Talk about the adjustments and when you know it's time to do that.
Well, my adjustments really began back in 2017, the offseason then. Got with a buddy that I went to college with, really got to know, of course, and he was drafted by the Astros and learned a lot through them. And he had hip surgery that took him out of the game, unfortunately, but with that, he was able to kind of pass along the information that he learned from them, and that's what started really all my overhaul of mechanics.
When do you know that that's what you need to do?
Well, through like the science that the Astros kind of developed, we found positions that you need to get to as a hitter that almost all hitters get to, like good hitters who hit for power and average get to this certain position. And so it's really the the process of getting there. So I really worked on that a lot. And anytime I get thrown off in the game or my mechanics get thrown off, I revert back to that.
It's interesting when you're working on something physical. How do you also attach the mental part of your game as well?
Well, there's like a progression to it. When you're in the cage, you solely focus on your mechanics and the adjustments you're trying to make internally. But once the game starts, once you get in the box, all that goes away and you focus on the pitch and what you're looking for out of the pitcher's hand.
And of course, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani will represent the Angels in the All-Star game. And for the Dodgers, it's going to be Mookie Betts and Trey Turner. So congrats to both teams, and we'll see you right here at Dodger Stadium next week. Now, the NFL players use the off-season to recover and, of course, spend time with their families, but it's also an excellent time to give back to their favorite charities. I caught up with the Los Angeles Chargers, who did just that at Rolling Hills Golf Club. Here's more. Coach, how good is it for you to be out here and the players on a day like this to give back and to golf?
Yeah, I think this is an event that brings everybody together. I think the past and the present, the future. So events like this, you can't do enough of them, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Yeah, it's just, I think anytime you have that space to be together where it's not all ball. Now, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot of ball today, but just you have a different venue, that different space, and I think that you need that. You need that to be as good as you can be. And I think that any time, the current team can be around, the past, the people, the men and the women who have made this team what it is, I think anytime you can connect past to present, that's always a special thing.
I think it's for a great cause. The Chargers Impact Fund have done such a great job in our community, and to be able to come help out and help with all the great things they've done, and especially spend some time with the teammates, it's always a good time. I think it's great. You get to know each other, and I think that's one of the most important parts about playing football together is going into that huddle and knowing that you trust the guy next to you, and having out here. And they might be small events like this, but being together and having those experiences, I think it helps.
Well, you get to see a lot of friends, and I think that's the big thing. And then it's for a good cause, and that's, part of giving back as a former player. It's kind of our obligation to thank the fans for all the years and look forward to the future. Back in the day, we had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of these type of events in San Diego. The community very strong there, supporting the Chargers.
How good is this for you mentally to come out here on a day like this and just kind of hang out with your teammates and golf?
Yeah, it's amazing. Once again, being with the community, being with the guys outside of practice, get to work on the camaraderie a little bit, have fun, and see what the golf game is about.
Now for the Los Angeles Rams, well, they haven't had much of an offseason, and that's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. And they were right back to work during spring workouts, or OTAs. Now, the two big names the Rams acquired in the offseason were wide receiver Allen Robinson and linebacker Bobby Wagner, and they're both fitting in with the Rams quite well.
I think what you look at, Maria, especially, the guys that we drafted, and really the free agents have done a nice job too, but I'm much more familiar with the draft picks. These are pros. These are guys that you hope can become pros, I should say that, but they're approaching things the right way. They're mature rookies. They've got a good look in their eye. They know how to come out and go to work. They know, hey, I'm going to look at what these other veterans are doing and be able to mimic and emulate that, but put my own spin on it. And these guys like football, and that's really important, the types of players and people that we want to be able to onboard. So in these settings, Maria, I think you can appreciate how they work, how they handle things in the classroom. And then once we get to Irvine is where I think we'll all be able to have a much better feel for, all right, when we're playing real competitive 11 on 11 in a lot of the team settings, that's when a lot of good things can come to life.
Yeah, there's the guys that you've got. You've got some guys that have experience. Even talk Bobby's come back. He's achieved the pinnacle of this game, in his career and just what he's stood for, what he's been about as a football player. So having guys like that know what it takes, they're going to step into this place. The standard is very high. They're going to step into that and want to match that and exceed it and move, daily where that standard is. And it's a huge advantage. Winning a Super Bowl in this league is extremely difficult. forget about trying to do it again. Let's just go do it. Being able to just go out and play for a Super Bowl, that's an incredible thing that takes a lot of work. So taking things one year at a time and treating this as an individual moment of, hey, it's today, it's this week, it's mini camp of 2022. How do we prepare for the 2022 season, and going out and winning the Super Bowl this year, and not thinking that it's something that you've got to string together years and do all this stuff. Let's just compete for this year and what this year means, and put ourselves in a position to go out and do the things that we believe that we can achieve.
Cooper, what's it been like working with Allen Robinson, just kind of integrating him into the offense?
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, again, I've touched on it a couple weeks ago, just what he's done in terms of just his mental aptitude and what he's learned, and what he is as a football player. It's been so much fun to be able to collaborate with him. So very excited about what he brings to us, and really excited for being able to get to training camp, really start competing, and then heading into the season. I just think there's a lot of potential for us to go do some really special things, but we had to stack the blocks day by day and build into that.
Yeah, I think it's it was a good good couple weeks of work that we had in here. It's really good to kind of get above the next stuff. We got some guys recovering from some stuff during the season, so that was good to get those guys some work and get them healthy. And then, I think the guys that are running around and doing the stuff, I think Tutu had a nice spring, made some plays. Spent a bunch of time working with Cooper, which I think is good for him. Allen being new here, it's great to watch him do his thing. All three of our tight ends look good, so there's a bunch of guys that I think have done a nice job. Just exciting to get out here and play football again. We do as good a job here as anywhere I've ever been of being able to, practice and make that practice feel, stress people above the neck, get the tempo going, get the communication, force all that stuff without really tearing people's bodies down. So I think we do get a lot out of it. So I think that's been the best part of it for us so far, is just being able to stress guys that are either new to the system or in a new spot in the offense, as we're trying out new stuff as well. We're trying out new tempos, new plays, all that kind of stuff. So it's there's plenty to be gained. It's just less fun for me when I don't get to do the one thing that I like doing, which is throwing the ball.
Aaron, what's it like being out here with Bobby Wagner? Just the conversations you've had.
It's good. I got to give him a big hug out there today and see him out there, understand him, hearing him behind me, his communication things. You can feel his leadership presence, so it's definitely been great. It just jogged through now, but just over the years, just being a fan of his, watching how he worked, seeing his success. He always was a guy that I wanted to play with. Having that great presence he got in the middle, and not just that, it's production he do. So there's a lot of things that I can learn from him, and I'm just excited to work with him. One of the most important things for me was feeling that the pieces that we brought in was going to still be a real opportunity for us to trying to win another Super Bowl, and I truly believe that we got the pieces here, the players here, the coaches here for that to come to life. So we lost some good guys, but we gained some good guys too. So
it's very different because coming in, we got a target on our back this year. We got to make sure we come every game knowing that we got to put our best efforts out there. It's hard work, man, because I come in and I work hard every day, and I make sure that I show that to the guys that come in, how to get the job done every day to make plays for the team.
He's really a pleasure to talk to, a pleasure to communicate the defense to tell them the whys, the whats, the wheres, the hows, and then to get some input from him also. He does a great job. He's been in this league for a long time, and has been a great presence on command and leadership. So I learn stuff from him every day as well. So I'm really excited about working with him. I'm really excited about working how we want to put it for him. But he's done a great job picking up the defense and learning his guys and really showing and settling down things. He just does. I can go on and on about talking about Bobby because it's really been fun all season working with him. It's certainly great to add a guy who slows the game down for everybody around him. It's certainly great to add a guy who will slow the game down for himself, who can absolutely show earnest what we talked about last year, him possibly becoming as our green dot and what it looks like and doing some of those different things. So I'm excited about it. I'm ready to go. It's awesome. The main goal for us is staying healthy, getting our guys to training camp, and really getting our systems in place and how we want to install and how we want to go about our business and how we want to teach it, the teaching progress. So we got those things accomplished, and really looking forward to these guys getting away a little bit and taking a little time off, being with their families, getting their bodies right, coming back, building the armor that they have to build for this season. That's a long one, As you guys know, and it's something that you got to get ready to do. I enjoyed last year, the challenge of going to last year. You know, I enjoyed the low moments. I enjoyed the high moments. I enjoyed how we ended the season. But when we get to Irvine, it's a whole new season. It's a whole new day. We all got to go out there, strap up, and play. And that's what we do. That's what we do this game. That's what we play this game. That's what we coach this game. I can't wait to do that, and that's just what the game is about.
It's been great. There's a lot more sun, so that's always a plus. The team is great. The guys are great. The training staff is amazing. Like I said, it seems small, but something about playing it, with the sun out, it does hit you a little bit different. But being able to be close to family, I've been attending a lot more graduations and family events that I probably wouldn't have been able to attend if I was in Seattle. So that's been kind of the biggest adjustment, because football-wise, I know how to play the game of football. It's a different group than we had. It's a hungry group still. I think it's cool to be a part of a group that, they won, but if you came in the building, you wouldn't feel that they won. They're so hungry for more, and that's kind of what I want to do. I was a part of a team that, everybody after we won the first one thought we couldn't get to it again, and we got there again. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but that's my goal, is especially like these last few years and my years to come, is just to be a part of a winning organization and figuring out ways to compete at a high level. I think there was an establishment when we first got into Seattle, because we were all so young. We were all the same age. I think the oldest guy was like Cam, and he was like 23. But everybody else was like 22, 21. So we just naturally grew up together. And then as, we got older, guys got wives, got kids, and then, the things that we did to kind of stay together kind of had to change. And so it's just a different feel coming in here. It's a lot more like young guys. It's a mixture of younger guys, old guys. You got that hungriness of coming off the Super Bowl, everybody doubting you that you can get back there. And so just the energy has been great.
I think it was such a great opportunity to obviously, personally, to get back out on the grass with a lot of these guys that I was, had some familiarities with, coaches, and then a lot of the new guys that, have been here over the last few years that, I wasn't here with, and getting to know Matthew personally and professionally, and just really getting on the grass with these guys, fundamentals, technique, and obviously we didn't do a ton of good full speed reps, but we were really able to emphasize so much fundamentals and techniques over the last couple weeks. It's been really good to get a ton of good work in with these guys. It just has an unbelievable ability to double you up at the point of attack. It really can work edges on you, lean and press away from you at the top of the routes. He has really good details, both in the release game and at the top of routes. Obviously we didn't do a ton against the defense full speed, but when he's on air doing some things that just maybe we didn't quite coach that he's done in his past is really impressive to see. He's got an unbelievable work ethic. I've walked by his notes a few times in the meeting room. They're unbelievably detailed and organized. So true pro, everything you look for in a guy to come in and do things the right way in a new system.
And we will have the NFL training camp starting here in Southern California in just 3 weeks. Of course, we'll have the Rams, the Chargers, and the Cowboys up in Oxnard. It should be fun. And the Rams Super Bowl Trophy Tour is still happening here in Southern California, so check their website and you can find out when it will be near you, where you can go and get your picture taken with that beautiful Super Bowl trophy. And finally, the IndyCar season will once again roll through Nashville this year, and guess who's gonna be there? That's right, on our next show, I will take you back to Nashville for all the action and, of course, the MLB All-Star Game. And that will do it for today's show. Remember, you can watch Playing the Field 24/7 at playingthefieldtv.com. I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time.